parties, and you just can't have fans in the stands. If you really truly want to have football, you can't have fans in the stands.
And there you have it. That's why I always love having Campy on at the end of our show, because he has some great insight. Always appreciate it, Camp, and I always appreciate everything you do as a producer, because as you all well know, without Campy, none of this stuff would go. Now, do yourself a favor. Think about where you're going to plant trees maybe later on this fall, and where you're going to plant those native plants and some pollinator plants. Do some container gardening and raised bed gardening and all of that stuff. But by all means, go out and make it the absolute best weekend, and I mean the best weekend of your life. See ya.
From the Elk and Elk Studios, Elk and Elk, working for every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Your home is your most important investment, and your garage is the entrance to your home. It's where your kids come in from school. It's where your family and friends gather together.
Fellas.
It's much more than just a garage. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with
Hello,
an
Mr.
authentic
Campy.
Nature Stone garage floor. And every Nature Stone floor comes with Brussels sprouts.
Good. How are you?
Warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive gray brown blend stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot.
Just like everybody else, it's been a real different kind of year, but
easily online today at naturestone.com.
I know. I heard that. That's great, though, isn't it?
Nature Stone.
It is.
Strader's
We'll see
Garden
how
Centers
long it
and
lasts.
Oakland
I
Nurseries.
don't
You know what they have in common?
There's
friendly, knowledgeable staff and great
they're
products.
making financial
like Posey
decisions.
Power.
iHeart
Ron
is
Wilson
Wow.
on
Posey
who
Power
comes
has a
back and
proven
who
formula,
doesn't.
An all-green
If
product
Tom
with no
comes
nasty
back,
chemicals,
then I
sewer
get
sludge,
might get
or raw
moved to
sawdust
afternoons.
that can damage your plants and animals.
If he doesn't come
Posey
back,
Power
then I guess
fertilizes,
I would
amends
imagine
clay
I would
soils,
stay
and
put.
introduces much-needed
Wow.
microorganisms
Do you get to?
for
I mean,
great plant
does it bother
growth,
you waking up that
prettier
early?
flowers, and better vegetables.
You know
Stop
what's-
by your local Strader's
It's
Garden
not
Center
that I
or
mind
Oakland
getting up
Nursery
that early
for your
because
spring supply of
I get
Posey Power.
home
Visit
by
PoseyPower.net for more
which is
information.
really?
Posey Power.
But the thing is, you
Is
you
your
have to get
basement or
6
crawl
guests per
space
day.
wet, moldy,
per
or
show.
so smelly that it's
So I'm
affecting your
working
health?
from home.
Hi,
My
I'm
day
Ron
doesn't
Greenbaum, the
end.
basement
Depending on what
doctor. I
happens,
have modern,
there are days
easy,
where
affordable solutions
I've been
for you.
waiting
For a
on
drier, cleaner,
confirmation
healthier,
on
safer,
gas
more
all the way up, and I've had
energy-efficient home.
cancellation
Call me
gas as
at
late as 7 o'clock at
877 Dry
night.
Time or log
And
on
Wow.
to
so my thing is,
basementdoctor.com.
I
Mention
don't
this
mind
radio
the
ad
hours.
and
What I
get
mind is
10%
not
off
getting
until August
paid for those
31st.
hours.
It's constant. You have
The
a
hardest part is being part-time. I only get
877
paid
Dry
because I'm in the
Time.
building till 9:30. So
Oh,
I'm
my
really,
word.
yeah, Eric, I'm booking
Now's a
guests for
great
free.
time to start seeing
And that's
Wow.
what I have an issue with.
Anytime, if you need someone last minute, just yell. I don't like to be doing like no 6 o'clock stuff. But if you get jammed up on something, just send me a text.
Unlimited in Dublin, Westerville, Reynoldsburg, and
Yeah,
Canal
I'm sure if there's
Winchester,
something,
or visit
if there's
online,
something of,
wbu.com/Columbus.
that's related to it, like if, like if disbanding plainclothes officers and there's been more shootings or,
Yep.
Portions of the
something-
following program
I
will
think
be
something
recorded.
would fit
Your
inside the
station
wheelhouse
for
of the
news,
Yep.
traffic, and
Awesome.
weather in
but I will
Central
certainly
Ohio.
I'll
News
make sure
Radio
that it's later in
610
the morning.
WTVN
It'll be like a shorter interview, like if I
HD2
can.
Asheville on
Yeah,
iHeartRadio
I'll
station.
absolutely keep you in mind.
Yep,
There's no
anytime.
question about that.
All
But
right.
yeah, if you don't mind, I'll text you when you get callers.
Okay.
And I have Guns N' Roses for your dad, and I
Awesome.
have Devil Went Down to Georgia for you.
Perfect.
So we should be good.
Maybe
I'm glad you guys are doing well. I have to drop by sometime, see how you guys are doing.
Anytime, yeah. Yep. Maybe we should just turn it into a radio disc jockey show today.
Put together the detailed, rigorous plans.
All right,
that
we'll
must
see you
be
back
in
here in a sec.
place to
Sounds good, sir.
physically
See you.
reopen
Bye.
our site.
Meanwhile, in the northern part of the state, researchers at UCSF teaching kids how to do their own COVID-19 tests in hopes school could use a similar system in the future.
President Trump is pushing hard on opening schools, threatening to hold federal funding for districts that don't fully open. And Texas is trying to deal with a surge in coronavirus cases. Just in the Houston area, the number of patients needing an ICU bed has risen every day for the past week. Bill McKeon is the CEO of the Texas Medical Center in Houston.
We used to be known as one of the states that had it completely under control, and now we're in the top 2 or 3 states that are looking at this massive surge.
He says even when beds are available, there's not enough staff to take care of the patients lying in them. Meanwhile, in New York State, COVID-19 hospitalizations dropped below 800 Friday. That's the lowest since March 18th. President Trump has pardoned Roger Stone, saving him from a 40-month prison sentence.
Stone, a longtime advisor and ally to the president, was found guilty of lying to Congress, witness tampering, and obstructing the House investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. In a statement, the White House press secretary calling Stone a victim of the Russia hoax, saying he has already suffered greatly and echoing the president's repeated claims that he was treated very unfairly.
ABC's Rachel Scott. Near record heat expected in the southwest as a heat wave grips large parts of the nation. Phoenix temperatures will likely reach 116 degrees or higher. You're listening to ABC News.
As 12 counties in Ohio now fall under a mask-wearing mandate, a new study out says Ohioans are one of the top states for people that refuse to wear face coverings.
Ohio ranks 9th on SurvivalHome.com's list of top states for people refusing to wear masks or defying mandates. The study geotagged Twitter data using anti-mask hashtags, which apparently plenty of Ohioans have used. Arizona and Florida come in as the number 1 and 3 top states in the study, despite being 2 of the states seeing the highest uptick in COVID-19 cases currently in the country. I'm Kyle Cornell.
Ohio is one of at least 9 states that on Friday set records for single-day new cases of COVID-19. The current total in Ohio, 59,000 cases, 1,494 reported just yesterday. And Cuyahoga County officials are echoing Governor Mike DeWine's calls for wearing a mask at higher at-risk areas for COVID-19.
Wearing a mask in public, especially indoors, but also in some outdoor gatherings, is a necessity as we work through this outbreak. They can reduce transmission of the coronavirus by up to 75%.
That is County Executive Armin Budish, who added that when the county receives complaints about those not wearing a mask, they contact business owners or a separate party in charge of the area of complaints first before getting the police involved. Cuyahoga, one of the 12 counties across Ohio in which the governor has called for the wearing of a mask. Police say a boyfriend is admitting to killing a young mother in Newark. Officials found the body of Kayla Kemmering in a home on West Church Street during a welfare check. 3 young children were inside the home at the time. Suspect Christian Young was caught at a rest stop in Hocking County and told police, yes, he did kill his girlfriend. He's now facing charges of aggravated murder. I'm Tom Moore.
Filling your news feed with the top trending news at the top and bottom of the hour. Columbus's news is on News Radio 610 WTVN.
Working on a roofing project? Think JC Roofing Supply. The best prices on shingles and all your roofing supply needs, including ground drop and rooftop delivery. Family owned and operated, servicing the Central Ohio area for over 50 years. Check them out at jcroofingsupply.com.
It's always fun for me when I go to Allen's Coin Shop. Run into so many different people doing so many different things. I mean, some people come to Allen's because they need a little scratch. Yeah, maybe they inherited a few pieces from dad or grandpa, or maybe it's just, look, I'm a little short this month, so here's a few things I need to sell so I can come up with some cash. And Allen's is always there for you on that. Other people like me looking to add to their collections. Maybe it's U.S. coins, it's world coins, it's gold, it's silver. I just want to paw through the big kettle of wheat pennies, or I want to dig in that world coin treasure chest. See what I can find. So many different ways to collect, and now 60 years, Allen's has been taking care of people in Central Ohio. So look, if you need a little money and you've got stuff to sell, stop by Allen's. Top prices, that's what they pay every day. And if you're like me and you're looking to add to your collection, shop online at allensinc.com, or do what I love to do, stop in the shop, State Street in Westerville, and see what they've got today. Allen's Coin Shop, serving collectors since 1960.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. That's located at 999 Bethel Road. I'm your host, Eric, along with my father, Phil. Last week, on July 4th, we read the names of officers killed nationwide this year by firearms alone. Now we must add another to that list. One of our brothers in Toledo, Officer Anthony Dia, was fatally shot on July 4th while responding to a routine call of an intoxicated person in the parking lot of Home Depot. A routine call, they say. In this profession, this calling, there are no routine calls. But the ridiculous calls to defend and replace these heroes with social workers is so loud and clear. We are the owners of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility and our active law enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we put together a group of firearm experts to discuss new products in the market, training tips, and oftentimes political topics surrounding the Second Amendment. Our commitment, though, has always been to bring you the facts about our industry and ultimately help our customers and our listeners with safe, responsible ownership of firearms. Today on the show, we're going to hit our leaders, our local leaders, head on with facts, head on with the truth that they do not want you to hear. They have silenced our police force, silenced our law enforcement leaders, but they will not silence us. Today, we bring you someone who is leading the charge in Columbus to present the facts about what is really happening and the dire consequences that are imminent if we do not stand up now and defend law and order. Today, we welcome with us here at the table former CPD SWAT officer and current trainer, Mr. Jim Scanlon is sitting in with us today. Thanks so much for stopping in. We're honored.
Thank you for having me.
So before that, though, we're going to get to some news that JC has compiled on the national front, and some disturbing news, really disturbing, JC, coming out one of our big manufacturers. It's something that's scary, and I hope this is not a trend, because if it is, we could be even in more trouble.
Amen.
Thank our sponsors, TTG Technologies, Toyota West, Jackson Lawn Care and Egress Windows, the Trigger Group, Black Wing Shooting Center, River's Edge Cutlery, CNS Engraving, Clean Water Systems, and of course, LEPD Training Facility, all who make the show possible each week. Joining me today in the LEPD studios, JC. He sits to my right. So good to have you back here. I'm still not used to you being right here, which is a good thing.
Taking up my space.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't say a word.
I didn't say anything.
Don't say a word.
Didn't say anything.
So, JC, this morning I had a chance to go down to Westerville. There was a little bit of a rally. Not a rally. They were going door to door in support of local law enforcement. And it was great to see positive people out there defending law enforcement and really excited to get out there and spread the word about law and order. So we're excited that there are people out there, because sometimes you don't see it. The media is not picking that stuff up.
They're the silent ones. I mean, and they're the ones that support. I think, in your heart of hearts, we support the police. We have to have them. It's just the way that it is, and they've been great. Everyone I've met has been just an exceptional person.
To my left is my father and co-owner. Papa, totally random in this world of craziness. I might need you to stay an extra 5 minutes after the show to shoot a new gun. I'm just saying. I didn't get a chance to tell you that ahead of time, but it's a .45 though.
Oh, I don't like to shoot. Hey, well, I'm here real quick. I want to reach out to one of my neighbors, Mike, and his wife Taryn, who are, I think, listening right now.
Are they actually listening? Or
Thank
you just?
For
I
listening.
mean,
I think they tell me that to make me feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You need to throw that in at the end of the show and see if they hear it.
Yeah, they probably turn it off now. Yeah.
Okay, said our names. Yeah, let's go move along.
To my far right is Big Ed.
And I am to the far right.
You are.
Oh, yes,
far right.
Very good. Love it.
Big Ed, are you ready to suit back up yet?
I'm ready. I brought one of my ARs in to get cleaned and lubed.
Yep.
And I'm ready.
All right.
I'm fed up with this being the silent majority. We're going to speak out.
Yep. And you're out there as well with the groups and stuff. So that is great. And then to my immediate left, our guest, former CPD SWAT officer, current trainer for North American SWAT Training Association, right? Did I get all that? Okay. Mr. Jim Scanlon. And if you missed a show today, you can catch the podcast. That's at 610WTVN.com. It's also on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and now Google Podcasts and the Facebook app. Facebook is a great place to watch the show. Ed is in tune with your comments. He can answer questions on the fly, throw them to us. It's a great interaction. And then on commercial breaks, Ed gets to talk to you there. So, you got anything prepared today, Ed?
I always have stuff prepared.
All right. A quick note, here at the store, classes are up and running. A lot of classes. Ammo and firearms continue to be in short supply. We're actually backing down a little bit on the amount of ammo we can sell, just because there's only so much out there at the moment. But we still have some. So
I heard they're raising the prices on ammo too.
It is every time we get it in, it comes in higher than the prior.
Well, you
orders.
know it's getting bad when I have to start bringing in my stockpile to sell here in the store.
That is bad.
Or you're wanting to buy something.
Ammo and firearms.
But you can. I mean, there's only so many boxes of 38 though that people are wanting out there.
That and 22.
That's right. So, Big Ed, as we get into the news, you have our weekly Chicago update. What's going on in Chicago? Is it a nice? Is it nice there?
Let me tell you what a beautiful city Chicago is. Year to date,
we've got 1,918 people shot year to date. 382 homicides, 258 were black, 54 Hispanic. This week, 115 shot and 26 homicides. In 1 week, the police shot and killed remains at this big number of 3.
And that 3
For
has
the last
been
6 weeks. It's been the same number.
So let me just make sure.
3.
115 shot and 26 homicides this week. In Chicago. They must be protesting that. There has to be.
I don't think I've seen a thing about it, actually.
Maybe the news is just not covering it.
Well, they're probably busy covering what's happening in D.C.
Right.
And Virginia. Not in their own city.
Right.
Because
It's crazy.
They have a good city there.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
It's off the hook.
And the scary part about it, and Jim's going to talk to this later, Columbus is on a path to see some of this craziness.
Yes,
you know? So that's the part that it's no longer
Democratic controlled Democratic controlled area there.
The city
for only about how many years?
JC? Well, that would have been the former President Obama's right-hand man that's running that city now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that explains
Well, no, it's
it
been
a little bit.
democratically controlled for very long. Very long.
They're tweaking it, John. They're tweaking it.
Yeah, tweaking it.
Yeah, right.
So, JC, in the news, what do you got for us?
Oh, there's just a lot of news. We do have to give a salute out to one of our great supporters, Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels passed away at 83. He was a long-time NRA supporter. Gave money and performed at all of the NRA conventions and was a great spokesperson for it. I like the quote he said. He goes, "Hey, I'd fight to my last breath to defend my home and family, and by the looks of the lines at the gun stores lately, it looks like an awful lot of other people are feeling the same way. They want to be able to defend themselves, which is our constitutional right." Just a great guy. So he's going to be missed. There's all sorts of stuff. We talked about how Minneapolis, the last time we were on live on the 26th, Minneapolis City Council members voted to disband the police department. So what happens after that? Well, guess what? 3 of the city council members went out and hired their own private security for their own protection. So that's right, at least 3. There may be more, but they've hired their own because they're not having a police force. So I guess the bottom line is only poor people will not be protected. So if you can't afford your own private security, then you're out of luck in Minneapolis. Just
That's crazy. Do they not realize what that looks like?
Well,
it doesn't look good.
That's kind of where it started.
I don't think they care about the
It's
looks.
crazy. I don't think so either. So much stuff is going on there. And then the other, there seems to be a sister city, is Seattle. Seattle's just what a mess that is. The majority of the Seattle City Council pledged to support defunding the police department. And they've started already. 7 out of 9 voted for this, and they want to cut 50% of the rest of this year's budget and 50% from next year. So they're cutting the budget in half. And they came up with this plan by following kind of a Black Lives Matter a group, but it's called the Decriminalize Seattle and King County Equity Now group. And they put a proposal out, and the council members seem, hey, yeah, we'll go ahead and follow this. 4 of the main points are, number 1, they want to remove Seattle's 911 dispatchers from police control. So I guess they'll be taking the calls and decide
who gets the call. They just rotate around who gets the call?
Maybe, yeah.
They handle it from home now,
like a call
center. Volunteers,
It's just crazy. They want to scale up community-based solutions to public safety. That doesn't sound bad, but I love this one. They want to fund a community-led process, and their quote is, to imagine life beyond policing. So they're going to sit around.
They can imagine it's called Chicago.
Imagine life beyond policing. And they do have recreational marijuana there. So they'll probably be sitting around doing a lot of imagination on no policing. But that's it. So I love their quote. Their aim is defunding the Seattle Police Department and building a world where where we trust and believe in community to provide the safety that we need.
There you go.
All right.
That'll work.
That just seems
that will work.
So in the home invasion, I want to see what they come up with there. Okay. So then, as we all know, that and Jim and I were talking about that a little bit. How all of a sudden, just out of the woodwork at one time, now everybody wants to defund the police. It seems to be so organized. It pops up everywhere. Now there are 19 major cities that want to do this. We've talked about Seattle already and Minneapolis. But Baltimore voted the last week to cut $22.4 million from the police department budget. Portland, $15 million from the police department budget. Philadelphia canceled a $19 million increase, and then they took $14 million out of the regular budget away from the police. Hartford, Connecticut, smaller town, but $2 million gone. Again, we talked about Seattle, but the other ones that are doing this: San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland. I mean, the California mess over there. Milwaukee, Denver, Durham, Winston-Salem, Chicago, New York City, and D.C. I mean, New York City, $1 billion with a B, $1 million taken away from their police department, and their murder rate. And now it's starting to soar.
And they're demanding more training too.
Yeah, and that comes for free, right? I mean, that's
free.
Normally the first thing gets cut because of the cost. So, but get this: there's some hope. The defund the police movement is very polarizing, and one legitimate poll said that 53% of Americans have an unfavorable view of defunding our police department. As a matter of fact, a staunch supporter of the police is Houston, Texas, who has just voted.
I don't think we should talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Because I want to move there. I don't want people to know.
All right.
Oh, go ahead, JC. Tell them what you got.
They just voted a $20 million increase in their police budget
Texas.
to help the underserved areas of Houston. So they have it right. We need to clone some of Mayor Turner and put him around in some of these other places.
I wonder if they have any openings down there.
All right, and if you have time for one last quick one.
Yep, one last quick one.
Okay, one last quick one. Lynchburg, Virginia. It's not. What's important is the quote that came out. They called for eliminating their school resource officers, which a number of cities have done. And it's not many. There are only 5 resource officers. But the reasoning is, which I love. Virginia Organizing was a group that wants to do this, and the quote was that this is an environment for children to learn, to grow, to make mistakes. And I don't think they should be intimidated or afraid that if they make a mistake, they're going to be rushed off to jail or detention center. So that was a quote from the spokesperson of, you make a mistake. I don't know what kind of mistakes they're making, but maybe like bringing a firearm into school or stabbing their student.
Bringing
it's a
drugs
time
in.
to learn. Yeah, I don't know. But, craziness abounds.
When we come back from the break, we're going to get to our special guest, Jim, who sits here with us. If you want to jump in on the conversation, 614-821-98. Hear what you're thinking out there. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back right after the break.
There I am. Hey, Facebook, are we getting out today? Or I heard somebody said that it was choppy. Is it coming through or not? Let me know on the Facebook page. Can you hear me? Are we on or off?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Facebook fans.
Oh, I got you.
Sorry about that.
He's talking to his hundreds and hundreds of fans that are out there.
Only 37 I'm checking in so far, but it'll go up. I'm not getting any responses, so we may be off the air.
Well, I still see it on our side. What temperature you got there, Camp?
Thank you, Margaret. She says it's coming through. Hey, any questions for our special guest today? Make sure you type them in here or give us a call. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Dan. Give us a call or text us any questions you may have for Jim. He's got some great expertise to answer your questions. Let's get this silent majority of us, let's get out here and make our voices heard. We have to start getting out and making our voices heard, just like the 1% that keeps making everybody in America look bad. It's time we stood and raised our hands together. When will I be able to